Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicle Night channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please take a second to click the like button if you like this video or hit the thumbs down if you don't. Also, if you enjoy the contents of this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get PTCGO code cards. Are you looking to complete your Pokemon card collection online for the latest set or get booster packs to use for trading online? PTCGO has everything you need. Please use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so you can get a 5% discount. Help yourself out with the discount, and thank you for helping support the content I create in this channel and for helping out PTCGO. In today's video, we are going to take a look at Shiftry from Evolving Skies set. This is a very interesting disruption build, and this is a very unlikely Pokemon no one else would dare to showcase because of its level of difficulty. Shiftry is a stage 2 Pokemon with 150 HP, 3 retreat cost, no resistance, and it is weak to grass. This Shiftry evolves from Seedot and Nuzleaf. It is worth noting that Nuzleaf has the Fake Out attack. For just 1 dark energy, it will deal 20 damage. You flip a coins, and if it is heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. This attack can be very useful for stalling. Shiftry has 2 very disruptive attacks. The first one is Shift Adieu. For just 1 dark energy, if your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, put it and all attached cards into your opponent's hand. This attack is very disruptive, which can make it very difficult for your opponent to ever set up. However, this attack can become useless if your opponent can prevent any effects of attacks. And even though our opponent's Pokemon doesn't have any damage counters on it, we will be utilizing Galarian Zigzagoon with the Headbutt Tantrum ability. If you play this Pokemon from your hand to the bench, you can put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And I also have Scoop Up Net so we can reuse Galarian Zigzagoon's ability. And I'm also using the Quick Shooting Inteleon, which has the ability that can put 2 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Shiftry's second attack is Nipping Cyclone. For 1 dark and 2 colorless energy, it will deal 130 damage, and then you discard a random card from your opponent's hand. And to make this attack even better, since we are using Galarian Zigzagoon anyways, I also added in Galarian OBSTAGOON with the Wicked Ruler ability. This ability forces your opponent to discard the cards from their hand until they have 4 left, so that when we use the Nipping Cyclone attack, that will leave them with 3 cards on their hand. Galarian OBSTAGOON can also attack with Knuckle Impact. For 3 colorless energy, it will deal 180 damage, and then during your next turn, this Pokemon cannot attack. To help energize Shiftry's Nipping Cyclone attack, and also Galarian OBSTAGOON's Knuckle Impact attack, I will be using 4 copies of Twin Energies in this build. I will be using the Shady Dealings ability engine in this build with Drizzile and Inteleon. This way we can get all the trainer cards that we need from our deck when we need it. As for the other cards worth noting, I also have Path to the Peak Stadium, which can help us turn off the abilities of all Pokemon with a rule box on it. And to help us further with disrupting our opponent, I also have Avery. This allows us to draw 3 cards, and if you drew any cards in this way, your opponent discards Pokemon from their bench until they have 3 left. And I also have a copy of Pierce, which can help us search our deck for any 1 energy card and any 1 dark Pokemon. And finally, I have 2 copies of Capture Energy. When you attach this card from your hand to a Pokemon, you search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. So the whole strategy for this build is to prevent your opponent from even setting up their main attacker, and also to limit their hand size so that it will make it a lot difficult for your opponent to even set up. And all the while, we just keep attacking until we knock out all of their Pokemon. And that's pretty much it. The deck list will be in the description below, but enough talk, let me show you how this build works. Okay, so my opponent chooses to go first. And I'm going to start off with the Sobble to go into the active, which is good because we can use its Keep Calling attack. And then we can set up more Sobbles on the bench, and that will set up for the Shady Dealings ability for us to start using Drizzile and even Inteleon. And we're up against Duraludon V. We got another Sobble from our top deck. I'm going to use Pierce. And unfortunately, Seedot is a grass type, so we can't use that to set up. So I'll just get Galarian Zigzagoon and a Capture Energy that will allow us to get Seedot in play. Before I attach that, let me just put Zigzagoon in the bench, and might as well put 1 damage counter on this Duraludon V before it even sets up, because we are using Special Energy and it can become immune. So let me just attach this on Zigzagoon actually and get a Seedot on our bench, because we're gonna evolve into OBSTAGOON. And OBSTAGOON attacks for 3 colorless, so that 1 initial energy attachment can become very useful moving forward. because we have twin energies available anyways, but our opponent is going to Marnie, so that's gonna go away. So we have to regroup here. See what we get. Okay, we get another C dot and evolution incense, which is great. So we can still get our Drizzile and another evolution incense from the top deck, which is insane. So let me get my Drizzile, and then I can evolve one of our Sobbles. And then let's see, I can get I can probably get Professor's Research here because our opponent only has 2 Pokemon on their bench, and Avery's not gonna be too useful as of right now. And let me use up this evolution incense before we use Professor. And I might as well get I can get a Nuzleaf. But let me just get a Drizzile, I think. Let me evolve into this. And then, let's see, I can get Path to the Peak, actually. And that will actually prevent their Duraludon VMAX, if they do evolve into it, from preventing damage from our Pokemon that has special energy. So let me use up my Professor's Research, and we drew into a lot of awesome cards here. I can evolve into Shiftry with the rare candy, and then let's see, I have dark energy also. Let me scoop up this Drizzile first so we can use it in our next turn, and then I'm just gonna use shift Adieu. Goodbye Duraludon V. So again, their setup is messed up, it has been disrupted, and they're being able to attach energy has been disrupted because usually metal type decks rely on Metal Saucer, but putting all those energies back to their hand make it a lot difficult, and so they have to restart and attach those energies manually once again. Let me reuse my Drizzile here, and then I can probably get another evolution incense. And I could get the Shady Dealings Inteleon, but for now let me also get this last Drizzile from our deck. Let me use Shady Dealings, and then we have so much access to a lot of things here. Get rare candy. I can evolve my Obstagoon so that we can use its Wicked Ruler ability, and that will make them discard at least 1 card from their hand. You know, 1 card might not seem like much, but if they need all 5 cards from their hand, that will really disrupt them. So let me get a Inteleon with a quick shooting ability. So now I can do a damage counter anytime I want, like this, and then I can just use Shift Adieu to say goodbye to this active Pokemon. So we can just keep doing that, but obviously you can't use Shift Adieu the whole game because your opponent can just keep putting their Pokemon into their bench, and then over time you're the one who's gonna deck out. So you really have to use Shiftry's Nipping Cyclone attack and really pair nicely with Obstagoon so that you can limit their hand. And sure enough, we get a twin energy from the top deck so that we can use Nipping Cyclone attack. Let me just use Wicked Ruler ability here so that our opponent can discard 1 card from their hand. And then I'm going to use Quick Shooting to start chipping away at this Zacian V. And then I'm going to use Nipping Cyclone, 130 damage, and then a random card. It will be discarded from your opponent's hand. So the randomness is actually really great for Shiftry because your opponent cannot control what they discard, and if they really needed that card, you know, they have no choice. So now they're down to 1 last card, and they're not able to switch into Zacian. So what I'm gonna do here is actually just chip away at Zacian V, put it into knockout range, and I'm gonna start energizing my Obstagoon so we could possibly use it to knock out this Zacian V. But for now, we're gonna knock out this Duraludon V and remove the last card from their hand, and we get a Professor's Research, which is perfect because we're running out of dead hand here. They're gonna knock out our Shiftry, and that's okay. I can promote my Obstagoon and possibly finish off this Zacian V. Okay, let me use Ordinary Rod first. Let me get these two back into the deck, and also one Dark Energy into the deck. And then let me use Zigzagoon. I can always just scoop that up. And then I'm gonna start chipping away at that Bronzong line. We can possibly knock it out in the next turn. Let me just put this energy on C-Dot and use Professor's Research. Get another Shiftry, a Level Ball, and actually let me use Evolution Incense so that I can get Inteleon with the Shady Dealings ability. That will allow us to get 2 more trainer cards from the deck. Most likely I'll get Rare Candy so I can evolve into Shiftry, and then I can use this switch to switch it into the active so that we can use Shift Adieu to this Zacian V. Although, you know what? I could have just energized Obstagoon to knock out Zacian V, but that's fine. Let me just use Shift Adieu here. We're gonna continue to disrupt our opponent, I guess. But yeah, I could have just knocked it out with Obstagoon. Sometimes when I play too fast like that, I forget what I was supposed to do and end up doing something else. But that's fine. It will work out because they're gonna have to put energy one energy at a time. They have 1 Metal Saucer so far, so they have 3 more in their deck. I'm gonna put 1 energy on Zamazenta V. And then let me see. I can always just use Boss. I can use Boss. We have Twin Energy on hand anyways. I could probably use Boss up that Bronzong so that we can prevent them from switching out the cards. So I'm gonna do that. But before that, don't forget to use your abilities. So let me use Quick Shooting on Zacian V. They have 4 cards, so we can't use Wicked Ruler. So let me boss this guy up, and then Nipping Cyclone to knock it out, and then have them discard 1 random card. Oh, they discarded 1 Metal Saucer, and that could make a big difference. So you never know. You never know. And that's the beauty with Shiftry, you know. Again, because of the randomness, I don't get to pick what to discard, and your opponent doesn't get to pick what they discard. So what card was discarded might be the only card they needed for that turn to get out of the situation. But let me use Quick Shooting here before I forget. Let me just keep putting damage counter on Zacian V, and I'm gonna keep using Nipping Cyclone here. Have them keep the that's the third Metal Saucer. Dude. Oh man, it's not looking good for our opponent. They're gonna be able to heal though with the Crystal Cave here. Zacian V has 220 HP, but we'll need 40 damage on Zacian V to put it in knockout range of Obstagoon. So I just have to keep that in mind. I'll be able to knock out this Zamazenta V. So I'll just do that for now. Get 2 more prizes for it, and all we have to do is take care of this Zacian V. What I could do even is use Scoop Up Net. Oh, but they're gonna Marnie us, because I could use the Shady Dealings Inteleon to get the Quick Shooting. Oh, you know, yeah, that's fine. Thank you for Marnieing, because we got the Quick Shooting Inteleon anyways. And even with full health, all we have to do is Quick Shooting once, Quick Shooting twice, and Obstagoon will take it out of the ballpark. So that's gonna be game. So let me just Quick Shooting this Zacian V, evolve into another Quick Shooting Inteleon, Quick Shooting once more. Yep, it's 180 Knuckle Impact for exactly 220 total damage, winning us the game. Wow, unbelievable. Good game. Alright, so my opponent allows me to go first, and I'm gonna start off with the C dot, which I don't really mind going first. Stage 2 Pokemon builds, I really do prefer going first because you get to set up your basic Pokemon in your first turn, then you can evolve in your second turn, even to stage 2 if you have access to rare candy and the stage 2 evolution on hand. And we have a level ball. I could probably start setting up my Sobble or even my Zigzagoon. And we are up against the Suicune V, which could be very bad because Suicune V is very, very consistent. So with this level ball, I think I'm gonna start off probably with a Sobble. You know what? No, let me get a Zigzagoon. I can start doing some chip damage on this Suicune V, and then we can use Shifted U hopefully in our next turn. So let me put an energy on C dot, and I might have to sacrifice all these other cards, but that's my game plan so far. Now this build is nowhere near tier 1 or competitive. This is more of a meme deck, and the win rate for this build is really terrible. Let me just evolve into Nuzleaf and evolve into Obstagoon. We can limit our opponent's hand size to 4. And that can become very disruptive later on. I got an access to another C dot, and finally start building up my Sobble thanks to this level ball. And I can attach an energy on my C dot again. I'm gonna use Fake Out. Come on, give me heads. Yes, okay. I think I needed that because Suicune V needs only 2 energy to attack, and with all the Pokemon in our bench, both my opponent and my bench put together, this Suicune V can pretty much knock out all of the Pokemon I have in this build. So that Inteleon line is really terrible, but that's why I included Avery in this build. 2 Averys with this disruption build is actually really good because a lot of people are using Inteleon lines right now. They need at least 2 or 3, and then they put backup attackers on their bench, and they just usually have a full bench. And Avery just messes all that up because it limits their bench size to 3. So the limitations that we put on our opponent is really great. Obstagoon limits their hand size to 4, and then we also have Avery to limit their bench size to 3. So it's not permanent, but still, they might just discard something that they really needed. So they pass it on to us, and then we're gonna be able to evolve into Shiftry this time. And then I could use Avery now before they can use their other Sobble, but let me just use Pierce for the meantime and just get another Shiftry to evolve into, because we might just lose this Shiftry in the active after we attack here. And I'm just gonna put this Twin Energy and then use Nipping Cyclone and discard a random card from their hand. Hopefully it's something that they needed. And sure enough, they discarded an Evolution Incense, and that could be very critical because now they might not be able to have access to Shady Dealings Drizzile or Inteleon, but they have Crushing Hammers, and they're going to be able to take away our Twin Energy, and that will prevent us from using Nipping Cyclone, and now we can't knock out this Inteleon V. But they had Inteleon Shady Dealings on their hand anyways, so that will allow them to get 2 trainer cards. They get a switch and a Capacious Bucket, getting them more energies, and they're gonna switch into Suicune V most likely. Yeah, and then they're gonna knock out our Shiftry for sure. But because Suicune V has damage counters on it, that will allow us to use Shifted U on our next turn. And building up that energy once again can become really disruptive against our opponent. And that's what I'm counting on, is just prevent them from building up their Pokemon. And, you know, that our lives depend on it, so that they won't knock out our Pokemon. Hopefully they don't have a lot of Melanies on this build. We get another Sobble. I'm just going to use Avery here to draw 3 cards. And then our opponent is forced to discard one of their Pokemon from their bench, because it limits their bench size to 3 for this turn. And we get another C dot, and I can use Evolution Incense to get a Drizzile here. Let me evolve this one. And then let's see what we can use. We have Path to the Peak, which will prevent them from using their Suicune V. Could use that. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. Use this Path to the Peak, and then I'm gonna start energizing my Obstagoon here. Then shift Adieu, bye-bye, to this Suicune V. So now, they need to have Melanie to attack with either this Inteleon or Suicune V. So we can actually knock out their active with Obstagoon. It will deal 180 damage, but we need that extra damage counter on Inteleon VMAX. Perhaps with the Zigzagoon or Quick Shooting Inteleon. But they're just gonna Hydro Snipe, so our Shiftry actually survives. And yeah, 190 damage is what we need to deal against this Inteleon VMAX. I can use Rare Candy to evolve into this Inteleon. That will get us 2 trainer cards from our deck. But I can also evolve this Drizzile actually. I might just have to do. I could just do this, and that way I can get a Drizzile and evolve Sobble to get another trainer card if I need to. I definitely need more cards in my hand, so I'll just get Professor's Research. And let me see. I could use. Okay, so we did use Rare Candy to that Shiftry, but let me just get a switch. And I'll have to sacrifice this Rare Candy if I'm gonna make any big difference here. Let me just use Wicked Ruler ability first, so that my opponent will discard 2 cards from their hand. Okay, they discard 2 energies. And then let me switch into Obstagoon. I need a twin energy here. Ooh, we don't get it though. Let me use Drizzile. Is there any way I can draw into more cards? I don't. Okay. I don't. Okay. Alright, so I have access to Evolution Incense, Professor's Research, and Boss. I could just get an Evolution Incense, I suppose. And then use Level Ball to get Zigzagoon. I can use that chip damage on this Inteleon VMAX. So I'm still setting it up for that knockout range. All we need is really the twin energy to knock it out with this Obstagoon. Inteleon VMAX deals 160 damage, so Obstagoon can actually survive, but I could put the Zigzagoon in the active and just have them knock it out. Because I don't know if they have any. I don't know if they have Quick Shooting Inteleon. If they evolve that Drizzile, then they can just knock out our Obstagoon. But let me just put this energy, I guess, on Obstagoon. There's really not much I could do here. C-Dot is within knockout range. They won't be able to knock out our Zigzagoon if they attack Obstagoon. But I think I'm just gonna scoop up net my Inteleon, and I can evolve my Drizzile in the next turn so that I can get a Rare Candy. Still really tempted to put the Zigzagoon, but I'm just gonna pass. Yeah, that way Zigzagoon will actually be able to survive because we have another Obstagoon in the deck. We could still, even if we sacrifice the one in the active, we can get another one set up. There's the Melanie. So they will energize and draw into 3 cards, but that's okay. We can use Wicked Ruler still in the next turn. Hopefully they don't have anything to deal any chip damage on our Obstagoon. And okay, they get a Shady Dealings Inteleon, so that keeps our Obstagoon safe in the active. Although I'm pretty sure they're gonna knock out my Sobble, but C-Dot, if C-Dot survives, that would be great too. But that's okay. Maybe that will divert their attention to our other Pokemon. Okay, they're gonna get Scoop Up Net and Quick Ball. And they're gonna scoop up their Inteleon. Alright. And that's that's okay, because now we can have them discard as much card. Maybe they can discard the Inteleon once we use Wicked Ruler. Yeah, okay, yeah. Wicked Ruler is, this ability is insane. It's very disruptive. So they're gonna knock out our Sable, deal 160. Our Obstagoon survives. We get a Shiftry from our top deck, which is great. Let me use Avery, force our opponent to discard 2 Pokemon from their hand, or from their bench. And we should still have an Inteleon quick shooting in our deck. And we have enough energy to power up our Obstagoon to get 3 prizes. Let me just use Wicked Ruler ability once again. Have them discard two of their cards from their hand. And we can evolve Inteleon to get to use Shady Dealings. We can evolve into another Shiftry. And we also have Evolution Incense. We don't have any more basic. We have 2 Twin Energies. Alright, we got Evolution Incense. We have a lot of Evolution Incense. And 1 more rare candy. Let me just get Evolution Incense here to get my Inteleon quick shooting. And I think I'm just gonna use this instead of Shady Dealings, because that way we can use Shifted Adieu at some point. So let me use that to chip damage at the Suicune V. Because most likely that's what they're gonna use to attack after we knock out this Inteleon. VMAX, 480 damage, dealing exactly the amount of damage we need to knock it out. We get a Twin Energy, and that's gonna get us our first 3 prizes. Insane. We have 9 cards left in our deck, and we just got our 3 prizes. So it's not looking good. I don't know. All they need to do is knock out this Obstagoon, and really not much we could do here. And they have another Inteleon VMAX, Capacious Bucket, so they have access to more water energy. So there's 2 things that's probably gonna happen here. We deck out, or they just knock out all of our Pokemon if they manage to energize their Inteleon VMAX. Okay, they're gonna get a level ball. Probably gonna set up another Sable maybe, or a Snom. Okay, a Sable. And they're just gonna attack with Blizzard Rondo, dealing 160 damage, knocking out our Obstagoon. So we are probably just gonna use Shiftry here to use Shifted Adieu. At least that will slow them down to keep this Suicune V from attacking continuously. And I'm just gonna use Quick Shooting to do damage counter on Inteleon VMAX, so we can use Shifted Adieu again on our next turn after. See, we got an Obstagoon rare candy and 2 more Twin Energies in the deck. So I'm just gonna say goodbye to the Suicune V, but yeah, it's looking pretty grim for us, because either we run out of deck, but we need 3 more prizes. I don't know if we can knock out that other Inteleon VMAX. They're gonna use Shady Dealings Inteleon as well. Let's see what we could do here. We have an access to 1 more rare candy. We can either get another Shiftry or evolve into another Obstagoon, which could be very beneficial, especially they have a lot of cards in their hand. We can use Wicked Ruler, and then we can energize Obstagoon to deal 180 damage to one of their Pokemon. But we need 3 more prizes. Either we knock out their Inteleon VMAX, or slowly knock out their other Pokemon. We need to do this within 8 turns. So they have 2 Melanies in the discard pile. I don't know how many more Melanies they have. But I don't want to use Professor's Research, because obviously that's going to deck us out. So we can't use Professor's Research at this point. I have Drizzile, so I could use this. So let me just use Shady Dealings to get a trainer card. Okay, we have 2 boss. I could get a boss. Yeah, I could do that. I could boss their Inteleon VMAX and then just use Shifted U on it. And then again, slow them down. Let me get this Obstagoon. That will thin out our hand, our deck. That way we have access to a rare candy. And most likely that's what we're going to use to either evolve into Obstagoon or another Shiftry, depending on how these last few moves play out. But let me quick shooting this active. We could possibly knock it out with Shiftry even. So let me use Shifted U to say goodbye to this Inteleon VMAX. So now they have to put Inteleon V in the bench, evolve into VMAX, put an energy on it. So again, if they don't have access to Melanie, it's gonna take them a few turns before they can fully energize the Suicune V or even their Inteleon VMAX. So with quick shooting Inteleon available to us, we can continue to use Shifted U to slow down our opponent, even the Suicune V. So they're gonna put an energy on their Inteleon V, and I could probably use this Inteleon Shady Dealings. Yeah, let's get 2 trainer cards. We have access to these, and then we have 2 twin energies left in the deck. I think we could do this. Let me just evolve into Obstagoon instead. I can use the Wicked Ruler here to have them discard all that card until they have 4 left. So now that's going to limit their access to their other evolution cards, maybe Shady Dealings, Drizzile, whatever, or their Inteleon, and even energy that they need. So yeah, this Wicked Ruler is definitely such impactful card, and it synergizes really well with Shiftry. It's amazing, because when you use Shifted U and put all those cards and all attached cards to their hand, then have them discarded with this Wicked Ruler ability, oh man, it's an insane combo. So okay, what I could start doing here is attach this twin energy on Shiftry, and then I can even attack this Suicune V, get 2 prizes for it. 2 prizes. Or actually, you know what? Let me get the Sabo. That way I can get 1 prize for it. That's what I'm thinking anyways. Get a prize, and then all we need to do is take care of either Suicune V or this Inteleon V and get our last 2 prizes that way. Let me use quick shooting to soften up this Inteleon V, and then I'm gonna use Nipping Cyclone and discard 1 more card from their hand, and we just discarded their Inteleon VMAX, and now they cannot attack for 1 energy, doing 60. They'll have to settle with the Inteleon V that does 40 damage to one of our Pokemon. And they're running out of options here. They're down to their last card, and they have a boss, and they're gonna use it to boss our Obstagoon, and that's okay. We have a switch on hand. This is insane. This is insane. So we're so close to winning here. We can actually win this. So Galarian Obstagoon cannot attack, so I'm just gonna put a twin energy. I'm gonna quick shooting this Inteleon, and I'm gonna switch into back into Shiftry and just attack with it. But if we attack with Nipping Cyclone, we cannot knock out this Inteleon. So we need 2 more prizes. I don't know if we could just use Shifted U and force one of their 2 prizers in the active. So both their Inteleon is within knockout range. Suicune V is the one that we cannot knock out, because even if we quick shooting it the next turn, we're just gonna deck out and we can't knock it out. But I'm just gonna Shifted U here and see what happens. Oh, that's it. I think that's it. If they can't get this Inteleon V out of the active, oh my goodness, this is a really close game. My hands are sweating. It's insane. So I'm gonna quick shooting this Inteleon V, And all I have to do is retreat my Shiftry into Obstagoon, attach an energy, and unbelievable, unbelievable, down to our last card of the deck. 180 damage for the win. Shiftry is very disruptive. You can just say goodbye to your opponent's active Pokemon and put them all back to your opponent's hand. And all the while, we can also attack with Nipping Cyclone that can discard a random card from your opponent's hand. And with the help of Galarian Obstagoon's Wicked Ruler ability, you can keep limiting your opponent's card hand size to 4. I have to admit, this Shiftry build is very difficult to use. However, I'm just very glad I was able to showcase Shiftry's full potential. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this build and the gameplay. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Night channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.